how this is going to be. Penzo will be on the left. Alphon will be on the right. And we are going to be good to go. For round number 1, well, we're going to bring in a Hydra and a Lockjaw, so some very heavy hitting arms right there. Springtron, meanwhile, going to come from some windy slaps and also the Chiller. Already using the pillars to good effect with the slap. Since it is a curved arm, you can use the pillars to give that little extra shield whilst your arm is curving around. Not so much curving at the moment, just flinging it straight out, but it can do so like that. And obviously, if it's charged and it hits, it will just flat out knock your opponent down and send you across the arena. Alphon is taking quite the pounding here, but Springtron does have the little extra thing where if they do go into critical, they will buff up. Breaks through the grab, but unfortunately taken down by the Hydra. I got that mixed up, by the way. Springtron does not have the critical buff. I'm thinking of Springman and Max Brass. Springtron does not do that. They have the EMP to do that instead, but unfortunately it's not going to come out at the right time. Penzo times the attack to perfection and lands the final blow. As we move our way into point number 2. I'm going to see Penzo bringing in a boomerang, but it's going to jump straight into Springtron. Doesn't take much damage though, unfortunately. Hits the floor before Alphon can get a second hit going. And Lockjaw charged up is going to poke at Springtron, send him down. Charge up the Lockjaw is pretty handy considering the fact that it fires out that projectile and then still falls in for another hit just in case. And the Rang definitely helping Penzo a little bit more in this matchup now. Being able to float around and pretty much do the same thing as our windy slappy boy. But it's going to fall foul through another one of those. Rush is going to come out from Alphon, nicely baited there, 360, activated the EMP. Penzo went in to take advantage, but was just caught and find themselves in critical condition now. Alphon is also in critical, so if Penzo can get a successful rush, that would be convenient and it would seal this point for them. And they're closing in that gap, they just need one more poke. But to be fair, Alphon looking for one as well. The Rang just about connects with the rush. It will take Springtron down and a very close match in the end. But it is Penzo who is going to take the initiative and lead by 1 point to 0. But not a bad showing there from Alphon. The first match was basically them trying to figure out how Penzo plays. Penzo brought in the Rang and it helped them deal with the slap a little bit more and also gave them just that little extra to work with. But even despite that, Alphon was definitely giving it a whole lot of beans. And they were certainly in that. Like I said, they were just looking for that one final poke to take the point away. But not to be this time round, so they'll have to try it again. They get to pick the stage this time round. For those of you who missed earlier, the 5 starter stages that they ban are Mausoleum, Buster Beach, DNA Lab, Temple Grounds, and Sparring Ring. The 2 counter picks are Viados and Scrapyard. And we are going to be going to Sparring Ring. So from the Temple Grounds straight to the Sparring Ring. And it'll be interesting to see what Alphon decides to do here. Penzo, I think, is going to stick with the Lola. So it all depends on how Alphon approaches this. They were certainly getting the hang of it. They were not troubled by Lola's bouncy shenanigans. So we'll see how it goes. And of course, if you do want to keep an eye on the bracket yourself, you can do so. Alphon is ready to go, and Alphon's gonna switch out the Tron for a Dr. Coil. Now they're gonna hope that they can just box down this Lola with not just 2 arms, but 3 arms, since that is part of Coil's ability. But it's gonna get caught immediately by a windy boomerang, and also a grab from Penzo. So already starting on the back foot with this Lockjaw and slap combination. It's gonna fall foul to another grab from Penzo. already starting on the better foot. The Hydra and Rang definitely dealing with Coil nicely. The Lockjaw finally does knock her out the sky. So we'll see what Coil can do from here on out. Rush is available. Tried to go for it, but Lola hadn't initiated the bounce yet. Got away clean. And is just punishing this Coil, not allowing her to come out of that corner. And finally, our hot slap will at least calm the storm a little bit. Grab doesn't connect, but Lola's does. Sends Alphon into critical condition. Probably will aim to keep this rush here and punishes the use of the shield with another KO from that grab. So what will be the choice between these two now? I think Penta will likely no, Penta gonna change up a little bit, gonna bring in Lockjaw and the Hydra. Doesn't need to use the Rang anymore. I think they're confident of Alphon's playstyle that they can punish a little bit more easily here. Alphon meanwhile is going to stick with the hot slaps and also going to bring in a toaster as well, so all fire. So it basically means if that does connect, it will just flat out knock Pento down. But 390 from that rush already, and Alphon into critical condition. One more hit will likely seal it, but finally does get a rush in. 180 sends Pento all the way to the corner. But will that be the only damage Alphon does in this match? Because all Pento is looking for is one more poke. Lockjaw doesn't hit, but the Hydra does. It has that verticality that just denies Coil the chance to really do anything in the air. And as a result, it's going to be a quick punish. And Pento is through 2-0, and they will square off against Iceman. So that is Pento into round 2. Alphon will drop into lower bracket, but they're not out of this yet. Remember, it is double elimination, so anything can still happen. They can work their way up through the underground section and come back with a vengeance later on. So we will see what happens next as we prepare ourselves for round 2. We're just waiting on the scores from our other 2 matches, Yoshi versus Slacks and Costelina versus Wasabi. And it looks like we are going to move on to our round 2 match that has not started yet, so we can at least get that going now, and that is going to be Yam versus Okrim. Does sound like that is what we're going to do. So it means that everyone else can play catch up just that little bit more. And these two are very familiar faces around the ARM scene. They've been doing so many things, so many shenanigans. Yam having won the Scrap Star, but he's yet to win the Challenge Cup. Akrim, meanwhile, has been doing pretty well as of late. Definitely gotten some runner-up spots in the Scrap Star. Not so much in the Challenge Cup either. That one's been avoiding them just a little bit, but they're certainly giving it their all, and this should be a very interesting matchup to see what they can both do here. And both are in. And was that Yam saying that we're doing... Oh, no, that was Yam batting and sparring. Okay, never mind. I was about to say. Okay, and it looks like we're going to start on Mausoleum. We've got news from round 1 that Slacks has defeated Yoshi. So Yoshi is dropping down into the underground bracket, and Slacks makes it to round 2. But now Slacks has the very hard task of trying to dethrone Riffa. And Riffa, they're no slouch to these competitions. They've won so many ARMS titles in their lifetime. So good luck, Slacks. I know you can do it. Like I said, Penzo will take on Icebound, and we are waiting to hear what's happening between Coslian and Wasabi. Once we have the information on that, we will bring you it as soon as possible. In the meantime, it's Brass, it's Lola, and away we go. Max Brass on Okrim's side. So yeah, Brass is going to come in with a Thunderbird, and is also going to come in with a nade, so big explosive damage, and he's going to catch the clown. Yam coming in with the Sparky and our wonderful little Scorpion friend, and already applying a little bit of poison to the Brass. Arm weak on that right hand side too, so Arkham needs to be careful, can't afford to shield or have any more graze damage there, but now it's time for Lola to go for it. Both will fade away. Both do have a chance to try and get a shock. If they do get a shock, you will probably see a grab or a rush coming out. Arkham gonna go for it anyway. 205 on theirs. Brings Yam relatively down to their level, and it's gonna get caught though by that Sparky. Yam just looking for a couple more hits, but now needs to be extra careful because Brass bulks up at the critical stage, so these punches are going to hit that little bit harder now. And already gets the shot. Couldn't get the punish on it though. Just wasn't quite close enough. And that is not going to be a punish either. Yam had to rush through it. Tries to break through, but a little too late to really commit to that. Okrim with a rush available, and Lola is just peppering this Brass. Oh, it hit! What hit him? I think it was the Scorpion that just about clipped him. You saw that Okrim try to go for that rush to shockwave out, but it didn't happen. The Scorpion connected, and Yam takes the point there. That was a little bit too close there. But that's just how it goes. As we start off with a Tri-Blast now on Lola's side. And Okrim is going to bulk up almost immediately because, yep, he kind of needs to do that. Brass needs to be that big boy. And the grab is going to be brutal. 170 knocks Lola straight down. Blast is going to get a little bit of damage in, but Okrim blocks out the explosion and scores another big time grab. This is not looking well for Yam here. Okrim is not pleased by how that last point ended. Yam into critical condition. Okrim just jumps over one of those bolts. Both with rush available. I think Yam knows there's no point using the rush until they can get Okrim that little bit further down, or if they can get a shock off. Yet another hit with the blast. Arms weak, and they're both going to commit to a rush, and Yam is going to get the better of it. Brings Okrim just about down to their level. Unfortunately, a wasted moment there for Okrim. They both will have to charge their rushes back. Crucially for Okrim, they still have just about a lead, but they need to be very careful here. All Yam is looking for is just 2 more hits, but the nade is going to deny that. And this match is going to be all one apiece. So what will be the state of play here? Let's see that Blast and Sparky coming out again for Yam. Doesn't need to switch away from it. And still going to go for that Thunderbird and nade combination. Okrim very much liked how that worked for them there. Just looking for those consistent punches with the nades. The nades and the roasters respectively are unguided, which means they'll do more damage, but it means that there's no guidance system. So whereas the Sparky can at least somewhat gravitate towards a fighter, yeah, the nade just doesn't do that. You have to do that all manually. Okrim going to commit to a rush. Yam is once again going to bounce out the way of it and just initiate their rush as a counter. And again, sends Okrim into critical. And this time Yam, with a much bigger health lead, has a lot more breathing space. And it's just looking for one more poke. And there it is. The blast is going to fire through. Blast is such a big boy as it is. Those horizontal bolts really take up a lot of space. And that is going to be Lola's first point. So, Yam will lead this set by a point. Now remember, these are best of 3s to start off with. Once we hit winners finals, then we will start seeing those tasty best of 5s. Until then, it's 3s all the way. Sparring and Via are going to be the bans from Yam's side, so we'll wait to see where Arkrim decides to take us to. We are going to go straight back to Mausoleum. No changes to the characters. Yam is going to, however, bring in a revolver, which is a very interesting choice. They're going double shock. Meanwhile, Arkrim's going to bring in a tri-blast with that nade, so Yam going for all of the shocks. Arkrim going for all of the explosions. It also does mean that there's more of a risk of a self-destruct if Yam can knock one of those arms off in its charged state, so keep an eye out for quite a lot of that. Shock is going to come through. We didn't actually see the trampoline from Mausoleum in our previous match. Nobody really fell on it, so we'll see how this one plays out. However, Arkrim already into critical. Backspaz fully built up as a result. Both with rush available and are weak on the right hand side. Just this consistent peppering with the revolver. It's really throwing Brass off. Like, they've got the arms to punch through it, but they keep getting through. They keep finding a way to just mess with Arkrim that little bit more. Having said that, Yam is just on the cusp of crit, and Arkrim's going to jump straight over, and that's going to be a KO. Arkrim timed that beautifully. It was a risk to go for it, but they knew they were able to get it this time round. Yam couldn't really do anything about it, having fully committed to the attack. A really good position for Arkrim to re in, but they're gonna start off with a 310 deficit as Yam scores with their own rush. Yam still gonna come in with that Sparky and the revolver at their fingertips. Meanwhile, Arkrim is sticking with what works in that previous match, but are weak slightly on that right hand side, and again finds themselves into critical. Only this time around, Yam has a much bigger lead going here. But gets another shock as well. Doesn't quite get the punish on a dose, and Sparky does have the shorter shock time in this game compared to some of the other electric weapons. But it doesn't matter. Yam gets the point anyway, and is just looking for one more to seal themselves into winners semi-final. Gonna start off with this rush, but Arkrim is more than prepared for it this time round, and you see Arkrim has decided to go full on nade, so no more messing around. It's double nades or nothing. And it means that revolver is going to have less of a chance to really get through now, because that nade, just one of those nades, is just going to punch straight through it. And a grab is the last thing Yam needs. Back-to-back grabs, just Arkrim playing a very aggressive game here, and is going to flinch straight through those revolvers, and Yam is just staring down at a hunk of muscle that is not relenting anytime soon. The nade explodes, catches Lolo off guard, and my word, Arkrim was not messing around there. That's one apiece. We're gonna see ourselves with a match 3. We can already tell you one of our other round 2 matches have already ended. Riffa has defeated Slacks. Slacks will be dropping into underground brackets, and Riffa is through to winners semi-final. Meanwhile, Iceman, the reigning champion, takes out Penzo also in a 2-0 set. And Iceman will await the winner of Grimwood versus the winner of Costly and Wasabi, because we still have not received word about what's happening over there yet. Looks like we are ditching our spooky mausoleum, and we are going to Temple Grounds, back to where we started this tournament today. This is the deciding match. Remember, this is a best of 3. So whoever wins this match will be going forward to take on Riffa. Okay, and Yam sticking with their respective players. I'm pretty sure nobody is surprised here. And look at this, Arkrim gonna stick with that double nade approach. Yam is gonna find themselves down almost immediately, but it's still early days. Obviously, we've got 4 pillars to punch through now. It's not just a wide open space. Occam has to play this a little bit more patiently here. Can't really be as aggressive as they like to until those pillars are fully down, when Lola no longer has anywhere to hide under. It's going to get caught out by another explosion, so Yam is just biding their time and thinking about where they want to play this next. How they want to try and get through this big bolt of muscle. Gonna get a quick shock, but is not close enough to get the grab punish, and Occam says, that's a free rush for me, thank you very much. And the nade stops Yam from bouncing any further out, and so far this is working. Inadvertently punched the pillar there, but gets away with it. No self-destruct damage this time round. Yam is in a little bit of trouble here. They've got a rush ready to go, but it's a very big health lead to snip down here. Does get the shock with the revolver and the Sparky. It does at least send brass down. Still got a fair bit to go here, and Occam almost has a rush of their own ready again. And we are coming up to 20 seconds to go. Yam is running out of time here. Gets another hit through with the Sparky. And another one timing through the grab. Occam has a slight health lead, and I mean slight. Yam knows one nade will just send them away, and you see Occam has gone all the way to the back. They're just blocking through the revolver, and just straight up punches makes absolutely sure they secured the point. And it was, very, like I said, a very patient play there from Occam. They knew they had the lead. All they needed to do was just punch through the revolver. The Sparky can't get through either. They managed to jump past the revolver as well, and the nade just was the icing on the cake. Both will start with rush available, and Yam has switched up completely. The revolver is gone. They've realized it's not working. They've brought in the Scorpion. Now remember, the Scorpion has 2 ways of attack. It can crawl along the floor, or it can do that. It can turn into basically like a frisbee. Grab just about missing on Yam's side, and he's able to block the nades this time round. Like I said, both with rush available. Poison stack finally begins, but Occam is going to secure a big 290. It's exactly what they needed. Sends Yam past the halfway mark. Just about punched through the grab, and the nade just stops Yam from getting whatever rush they'd have liked to. Very well played from Occam. This is exactly what they needed to do. 2 nades are coming out, but just either side punches through the grab again. Occam is the closest to a rush. 40 seconds to go, and Yam knows if they get caught in this upcoming rush, it is curtains for them, especially now that they're in critical. Occam, however, needs to be careful as well. Rush is going to commit. It does catch Yam on the way back. That was unfortunate. Yam thought they were just about away from that, but the nade caught them, and Occam is going to take Yam out. Now that is a nice turn up for the Bucks. Occam will take out Yam. Yam is the higher seed. Granted, only by 1, yes, but still, it's worth noting, Occam is in to win a semi-final, beating Yam 2 points to 1. Very well done to the brass. And with that, we are going to be done with that. However, we're not done with round 2. We have finally gotten word that Kosalina has taken out Wasabi 2 points to 0. And we are in a very weird position where we haven't actually finished round 2 yet. So here is what is going to happen. We are going to see our final round 2 match, and it will be between Kosalina and Grimwood. This ought to be a very interesting match between these two. Kosalina is consistently knocking on the door of big tournament finishes, but sometimes it just slips away from her. So we will see if she can bounce back in style, or if Grimwood is going to show once again why he's won cups and titles in the past. Remember, this is definitely not Grimwood's first foray in. Grimwood has won a Scrap Star before. He's won one of the Challenge Cups before as well, so you get the general idea. The wins are there for Grimwood. Kosalina, like I said, knocking on the door. We haven't seen her for quite a while. Like, she's been here and there for a few weeks, so it's nice to see her back. And that Twintel is going to see if they can cause Max Brass any kind of grief as we gear up for our final round 2 match. The winner of this will take on the reigning Cup champion Iceman. Kozolina on the left using the toaster, and the Thunderbird, and is going to just give a nice hug to Max Brass, giving them a taste of their own medicine. Meanwhile, Grimwood coming in with not 1, but 2 chillers, hoping to try and slow down that Twintel to stall them for as long as possible, but it's not happening here. Kozolina is going to get another big grab confirm, and Brass goes, no, that's my game, not just yours. But so far, Twintel is not scared of trying to force this Brass to stay in one corner. Gets another shock with the Thunderbird, and it's just straight up in their face. Probably was thinking about going for yet another grab. Slowed the grab down from Brass, but realized that was still going to hit no matter what they did there, and just took it. Brass obviously in that critical state. As you can see, there's that big ball of red on the right hand side. It's going to get another shock. That's going to be a grab, not the KO though. Kozolina still needs 1 more poke. Grab, however, is going to come through, and that sets Kozolina up as well. So, and the rush is going to connect, and that was unfortunate for Kozolina. But crucially for them, they have not gone down either. Both are looking for 1 more punch, and Kozolina is going to dash right into one of those chills. And it's unfortunate, but it does mean that Brass will start with the initiative. Thinking about switching out. Yep, we're going to switch up. We'll switch one of those chillers for a nade and immediately start with a nice big hug. Kozolina, meanwhile, pretty much going to stick with that combination. The Thunderbird was definitely working and catching Grimwood out. But now there's a big fat nade to work around as well. Rush is going to come out. Grimwood anticipated it. Shield doesn't quite break on the right hand side, and now it's their turn for a rush. But Kozolina is going to get the read on that as well. So neither gets the rush, and Kozolina actually gets a quick little toaster and another shock. Nice little combination there from Kozolina. That's exactly what they needed, and gets the grab as well. You see, Twintel just likes to be in that air. She's able to just manipulate just a little bit extra, especially with the actress, or helps with that additional slow motion. Grimwood is now buffed up, but again, they've got quite the health deficit to go through, and Kozolina not taking any chances this time round. Fires in with the rush, and it's going to make sure we equalize that set. And now it's Grimwood's turn to switch up yet again. Kozolina not going to stick. They know it works. They have faith in what they do. Grimwood is going to bring in a Coolerang. So still going to have some kind of cool element, but it's going to lose the nade immediately. Thankfully, Kozolina couldn't properly punish it, but that's not a great start for Grimwood. Just finally get the Coolerang and slows Twintel down just a little bit, but can't really do anything on top of that, and the nade just whiffs. And Kozolina managed to evade a fair bit of that, but still takes 275 in the end. Just couldn't properly block it out in the end. Nice, well-timed grab. Grimwood knew where Kozolina was going to go that time round. Timed quite nicely, but it's going to fall foul to another Thunderbird, so Kozolina keeps this health deficit relatively close and fires through the grab, and Grimwood couldn't get the shield up in time. That's 325. It sends them down to crit, and Kozolina, playing a very aggressive Twintel here, actually gets the grab, would you believe it? And Grimwood is just a knock away from going down to Kozolina here. Avoids both nades and both boomerangs. Has to be very careful though. Arm weak on the side, but it won't matter. The Thunderbird will leave its little peck. And Brass will go down. Kozolina is up in this set by 1-0. Like I said, it has been a while since we've seen Kozolina in these tournaments, but boy howdy, she's still got it. She still absolutely got it. just getting a quick connection test. It looks like there were some issues during that match, so we'll see what's going on there. To be fair, there were a couple of moments there where it did feel like there was the odd nod here and there, but for the most part the match went relatively okay. I would have thought. I did find it a little odd that Grimwood didn't quite get the shield up in time. I don't know if they weren't on the floor properly yet, but it definitely felt like they were. So they're both just doing a quick connection check before we progress onwards with point number 2 of this match. Like I said, waiting for us in winners semi-final is Riffa versus Okrim. The winner of this match will take on Iceman. In the underground bracket, we have matches currently happening down there. Yam will be taking on Alphon. Slacks will be taking on Wasabi. Yoshi will take on the loser of this match. So Yoshi gets a little bit of breathing time. And the winner of that match down there, by the way, will go forward to take on Penzo. So there's a lot happening. There's a lot still happening, and we'll keep you up to date on what is happening. So in the meantime, there's been a lot going on, both in the ARMS community and also outside of the ARMS community, but still in the realm of Nintendo. For those of you who haven't been watching around, obviously Slacks and Co have been promoting Save ARMS all over the place. So if you do have any ARMS clips of your own, or are thinking of running any ARMS events yourself, we do have a hashtag that you can use to help promote that, and that is hashtag Save ARMS. I know the competitions of those have been starting up as well, so it is absolutely worth your time to check out that hashtag and follow a whole variety of groups and mingle around with our wonderful community, because we are still going and we are going to do what we can with this wonderful game. Outside of ARMS, Splatoon 2 has been getting some additional notice again. We've had the UK Championships coming up. That's in 2 months' time, and Insomnia. Our final online qualifier happened yesterday, and that happened on my stream with permission from Nintendo UK and from the ESL, which was a very rare treat for me. It still feels weird that I'm in a position where I can commentate on 2 games that I really like, which are Splatoon 2 and ARMS. So, and for those of you who did turn up yesterday and helped spread the word around, I do appreciate it. It means a lot. So, like I said, just being able to do what I can as a commentator and just bring the hype for whatever game that I really like, which these 2 are very much big parts of my life. It's always a nice moment to do so. And it does mean that I don't really get to take part in tournaments as a player myself, but every now and then I have matches in ranked in ARMS, and I get tips and advice from Malieve, because I am but a small Mechanica player, and Malieve is a big Mechanica player, and even then she's still very humble about it. Malieve is still very much, oh, I'm not that good myself. No, Malieve, you have done so much. You have done oh so much, and I have so much to learn, and you help me with everything. So it's like, yeah, getting back into rank 17 was a nice treat. It was very nice. But I know Malieve will be likely saying that she's still learning to do stuff herself, and it's like that's fair enough. And to be fair, it's nice when you hear that, because you see the ARMS community and you see whether it's the EU scene, the NA scene, etc. Players, even the top players, are still practicing, are still learning, they're still experimenting with other characters and other loadouts, and it's really cool to see. And like, yes, there's a meta in every single region, as it were. But if you can make it work, then props to you. And yes, we do see similar characters every now and then, which is why it's always cool when you see like Misango pop up, because you just rarely see Misangos these days. When you get, I'm trying to think of a character that we don't really see as much anymore, and it's like Misango's the first thought that immediately comes to mind. Springmans and Master Mummies, they come out now and then. The same goes with Coil, but they're not frequent. They're not like a common occurrence. Like, they'll come up every now and then, but it's not all the time. It's not the Twin Tails and the Brasses and the Min Mins. I've just realised I've ticked Spring Stadium, which is not what we want. Okay, so we're still waiting on the connection check. We'll get those to you as we get them. Both are back into the lobby, so it looks like both have reset their routers and checked their connections. So we'll see where this goes. There we go. I'm just waiting on the stage bands. Ooh. We might have a VAR check going here. We might be replaying round 1. I think we are replaying game 1. Oh, right. Yeah, okay, I guess. Alright, we are. Alright, so Coselina does not have the lead. We are going back to sparring ring, so we are replaying match 1. So I do apologize, everyone, but we are going to see a redo for that. So VAR has decided that point does not stand, and we're going to do it again. Grimwood is going to start with the nade and the Coolerang. Coselina is going to stick with that Thunderbird and the Toaster. And is going to quickly get a grab going. Grimwood rolls back, quickly fends off the follow-up grab. Coselina is going to drop down straight in front of that nade, and obviously once that nade is charged, if it hits, it will just follow it with that explosion. Coselina just about got the Toaster out to punish the shock. I honestly thought it was just a little too late, but Grimwood couldn't move away in time. Coolerang doesn't quite hit again. Brass gets that wonderful thing of not flinching to certain attacks, but it's also why Coselina brings in the Toaster, because as long as that Toaster is charged, it doesn't matter what weight you are, you're going down to that hit. Grimwood almost into critical. Coselina is going to miss initially, but does get the follow-up hit. Grimwood had no answer to that, and is going to find themselves going down again. So, here we go again. Coselina does have lead. Grimwood has rush available to them and is going to commit to the double nade approach yet again. Coselina is going to get caught temporarily by that explosion. Defense is down, and that means it's not just one grab, it's 2 grabs. Grimwood playing very aggressively here. And Coselina is not liking this matchup as much as they did in that first initial point. Jumps over one nade, is going to catch Grimwood a little bit, but they've still got quite a health deficit to go through here. Arm weak on the left hand side doesn't help, and it's down. That'll be a free grab for Grimwood. And Coselina is just a punch away from going down here. And there it is. Nade explodes right into their side. And it's 1 apiece in this first point. I'm going to stick with the same arms. Grimwood tried to go for the usual start tactic of jumping up and going for that grab, but Coselina's Thunderbird says not today. Rush will come out, but Coselina will block it this time round, safe and sound. Gonna deny one nade the chance to go through. Has to be very careful, those explosions are still catching her out, and another one in mid-air. Grimwood's getting the target range of this locked arm, and gets a grab as well. Big wide width on those grabs. Rush is going to come out. It will connect this time round. Only 170, but it's better than nothing. And is now going to try and poke through onto Grimwood. Gets another toasted hit. Charged up, and you just see Brass hit the floor immediately. That's what that ability does. Rush is ready. Oh, couldn't get the punish on the Shark. And it is going to go into that Rush as a result. 320. That was unfortunate for Kozolina. They got the Shark but could not punish. Gets another Shock though. This time into the punish. Both into critical condition. Kozolina is the closest to a Rush, but it won't matter. 170. A punch away from going down. But gets the grab themselves and hits back with the KO. Desperate times there, but Kozolina will win that match and hopefully has scored the first point of this set this time round. So it looks like, where are we going? Are we going straight back to a sparring ring? Yeah, we are. We are going straight back to sparring ring. Grimwood is determined to get the win on that, and so much so that they're going to switch character. So long, Brass. In comes Kid Cobra. And Kid Cobra is coming in with a loadout that has driven so many people just so nuts. We got a clap back in there, and we got a popper in as well. But for Kozolina, that won't matter because she has the Thunderbird. The Thunderbird can easily fly around that clapback and get a shock like that. And Grimwood is going to go down to an uncharged toaster poke. That popper may be quick, but it's not really going to get through the toaster. What a timed grab that was! The second Kozolina got to her feet, the grab was already in her face. The clapback can be annoying, especially for the toaster. If it hits, it will just come straight back at you. Kid Cobra's going to get 175. That grab is big damage. He's going to get caught again by the Thunderbird. The grab. Ooh. The rush came out. Kozolina was just about able to protect it, but arm weak on that left-hand side. They'll need to be careful here because if that goes down, it will give Grimwood the chance to KO. And they get the KO regardless. So that is how that one is going to play out. Grimwood thinking about doing a little bit of a switch and then goes straight back to that clapback. Meanwhile, Kozolina not going to switch either. Wisely dodges away out of that initial startup, but it's just going to find nothing but clapback. 180 on that rush as a result before they finally got through with the Thunderbird. And Grimwood will take that. They're the closest to the rush as well, and so far the clapback is just not doing Kozolina any favors. That you see that Kozolina got a toasting of her own. That's exactly what the clapback is designed to do, and the popper is just completely removing Kozolina's ability to get into the air and probably get anything at all. They all get a peck with the Thunderbird here and there. That clapback and the popper combination is working beautifully. Grimwood just a little too late on that rush combination. They tried to go for the juggle, but not going to happen. They'll slide back forward, and the popper is still catching Kozolina out. Every time they go to the air, it's just too quick for them. Punched by her own accord again. And that's going to be a quick 2-0, and Grimwood is going to tie this set up 1 apiece. Kid Cobra was indeed the right change there. We have news from the underground bracket that Slacks is out. Wasabi has taken out Slacks in a 2-0 set. So after beating Yoshi Bowser and Fallen Tarifa, Slacks then lost immediately to Wasabi. That is unfortunate. We are now going to go to Mausoleum for the last match of round 2. We can also report that Yam has knocked out Alphon in a 2-1 set. So Alphon really giving them a big moment there. So credits to Alphon. They came out swinging. They did get a point away from them. So, but commiserations to Alphon and Slacks. They are both out of this competition as we now focus on match number 3 of this best of 3. Grimwood sticking with the our wonderful Cobra boy. Let's stick with the popper and the clapback since it caused so much annoying to Kozolina the previous time. But she isn't going to switch arms. She is still happy with this combination. The Thunderbird does fly around the clapback, which is exactly what they need. But the toaster is just not being able to do anything to the popper at the moment. And it's going to get punished with that grab again. Rosalina finds herself down past the halfway mark. Toaster's going to come straight back to her, but she avoids it this time round. And both with Rush ready to be able. You just see how quick Cobra is, just sliding around all over the place. They have less health as a result. They're like they take that little bit more damage, but Grimwood doesn't mind. That speed and mobility and the use of the clapback popper is just, it's causing more of an annoyance to Rosalina that she can't quite get the hits in that she'd like to. And the clapback rush, the clapback initially hit, but it couldn't get anything more on that. Rosalina will jump past one grab, gets the shock. That'll be a grab punish. They've got a lot of health to cut through here. If they can get another shock into a grab, that would be perfect for them. But they need to not take any pokes from that popper, and this will be a free rush. This should be a KO. It is the KO, and that was exactly what Rosalina needed. One shock would turn that on its head, and that was exactly what Rosalina needed. Grimwood will stick with the clapback popper and immediately starts over with a big 175. That additional damage on the grab is, it can be hard. It can be very hard to go up against sometimes. Grab is not going to connect this time around. The Thunderbird not charged. So thankfully Grimwood does not go down to another grab. So far, Cobra keeping that distance, coming in when they need to. Rush is going to come out, but no prevail this time around. Rosalina will block it, and look how quick Grimwood is straight back on the offensive. Gets a grab and closes that gap. Rosalina past the halfway mark. Grimwood finally down past 75. Rosalina has rush available. That's going to be a shock. That will be a free grab. Exactly what Rosalina needed. Turns the tide that little bit more, but she can't afford to take many more hits of her own on the cusp of going into critical. Grimwood knows that they can wait this out just a little bit longer. Rush is almost at their head. Rosalina cannot take another point of damage, otherwise it's over. And Grimwood will take a rush into the final point. One apiece in the set, one apiece in the third round. Both will stick with their respective arms. Rosalina's going to get hit. Grimwood did not want to go for the rush, and again gets another perfect grab throw on the wake up. That will be aggravating Rosalina more and more to every single one that comes down against her. Just about avoids the reflected toaster. Clips on the Cobra, but can't quite get any more purchase on it, and Grimwood has such a big health lead already. Just every single popper hit, it's such a quick arm that every time you think you're away from it, it just clips you, and Rosalina, well, is just 2 hits and a rush away from going down, and Cobra is going to get the connection, and Rosalina, unfortunately, was just a little bit impatient there. They threw the rush out immediately the second they got back up, and Cobra expected it. Slid out of the way with that mobility, and boom. Grimwood will get the point, and Rosalina will have to go down into the underground bracket. They will face off against Yoshi Bowser, if I am remembering that correctly. And Grimwood will go forward to take on Iceman. And with that, we are done with round 2. Winners semis are coming up. And I think we're starting with Riffa Okrim, potentially. I assume we're going to start with Riffa Okrim. I can be told if I'm wrong, but it would make sense since we've seen a lot of Grimwood just now. And yep, it will be Riffa versus Okrim for our first semi-final. Obviously Riffa, despite the fact that Iceman comes in as the reigning champion, Riffa comes in with the #1 seed on the basis of having won so many titles. You get the general idea. Riffa's just a machine when it comes to that. But Okrim managed to defeat Yam. Let's see if they can go one step further. Looks like we're already ready for our match. I think it's going to be Mausoleum that we are going to start on. So here we go. Riffa taking on Okrim in our first winners semi-final match of the day. Just waiting for Akrim to ready up and we'll be good to go. We'll keep you updated on the results in the underground bracket whilst this is going on. Remember, this is still a best of 3 and we're going to see Akrim coming in with that brass per usual. But Riffa is going to come in with something a little different. We're going to see a Helix from Riffa. So Akrim on the left coming in with double nades by the looks of it. No, going to come in with a Fun Chuck. A Fun Chuck and a Roaster. Meanwhile, Riffa is going to come in with a Boomerang. It's also going to come in with that Lockjaw as well, and obviously the flexible nature of Helix can be very small and can be also as, well, could just be a very big tower as well. And so far, it's working beautifully for Riffa. Finally does go down to a charged up Roaster. Again, that additional damage, much like the nade. Less of the explosion, but still a lot of damage. It's going to break through the arm again, though, and Riffa is just controlling this match so far. And they get knocked down, because it's taken Akrim such a long time to do so. Riffa's able to get quite the lead going, although this Roaster, if they keep being hit by it, it's proving to be a little bit more of an annoyance. And you see how small Helix can be. You saw the grab just going to go over Riffa, just on the basis of Helix could just shrink down past the grab level. It's a yeah, it can be quite a challenge sometimes to grab Helix. So it's why you have to try and hope that you stun them or shock them, and you can do it that way around. Rush is going to come out from Akrim, and Riffa is just a poke away from going down. Akrim needs one more hit, but it's not going to come just yet. Rush came out from Riffa in the hopes that they would knock Akrim down, but it's not happened. Who's going to get the first point here? This is incredibly close. Lockjaw misses. Roaster does not. On the cusp of 10 seconds to go, Akrim finally finds his mark and takes the initiative in this first point. Riffa going to come in with a popper Lockjaw. Akrim going to stick with that Roaster and the Fun Chuck combination. See how low Akrim is trying to swing this, but finally cracks through Riffa. Dropped the shield at the wrong time. 330 damage, and Akrim playing a very aggressive brass, and I think they realize this is working much better for them here, because it allows Helix less time to really do any of their wibbly wobbly shenanigans. So far, Akrim has the initiative. It's going to go down to another little poke there from Riffa. Has to be careful as the rush comes out. It is going to get shielded though, so no Lockjaw big time damage this time round. And the best part is for Akrim, they've got a rush in hand with 50 seconds to go. And a pretty decent health gap. Rush comes out, it will be blocked by Riffa, but both arms down. And Akrim is looking for one more poke, and there it is. The Roaster connect. And Akrim is leading against Riffa here in this first semi-final. I don't want to start painting a picture of how big a shock this would be, but if Riffa drops in semi-finals, boy howdy, that's gonna be a story. We will see where we go from here. Scrapyard and DNA banned. Are we going to go back to Mausoleum? No, we're actually going to have our first counterpick stage of the day. We are going to Valladolid. And they are both sticking with their respective characters. It will still be Brass versus Helix. Helix gonna still come in with that popper and Lockjaw combination, and Akrim certainly not gonna give up what gave them the first win. Roaster and Funchuck, and already was preparing themselves to start punishing Riffa in that corner, but left the shield up too long and has allowed Helix to come back towards the middle, and now it's their turn to box the Brass in. Once you're in that corner, it can be very difficult to get out of. Just the amount of pressure that your opponent can put you under, but Akrim is going to get a knockdown on Riffa, but isn't quite out of that box yet. Finally back into the center stage. And Riffa, I think, feels the tide starting to turn, but Ockham doesn't mind being in this corner as much. They're giving themselves a little bit of a chance. The roaster unfortunately just missed. That would have been a good chance to do a little bit more damage. Into crit, Ockham goes. Both with rush available. Riffa has half of their health left. Ockham, like I said, just a couple taps away from going down. So Riffa can afford to play very patiently here. One more poke is all they're looking for. Grab is denied. And Riffa will take the initiative in this second match, but in the first point of it. And Riffa going to drop that lockjaw. We're going to see that Rang coming back out with the popper. Ockham going to buff up with that roaster and Funchuck. He's going to clip Ockham into that corner. Both with rush again, like I said, and Ockham is going to be the first to blink and does connect with the rush. 310 damage. They did not want to allow Helix to start off too strong. 235, but crucially for Brass, did not get sent flying, was not allowed to be juggled, and is actually going to start off with the better advantage here, forcing Helix into this corner. You do not want to be here against Brass, and that's why it was crucial. That boomerang hit sent Brass flying, gets a second connection, and Riffa is going to just distance this a little bit, but it's going to fall foul to another roaster. And keeps the shield up too much themselves, and you cannot let Brass grab you. It's big time damage. Ockham flinches through the attack and is going to equalize this point. If Ockham wins this, Riffa's down 2-0. I can't stress how big of a thing that would be here. Ockham is going to stick with Roaster Funchuck and is going to get caught, unfortunately, by a very quick Rang hit. All of that wind and couldn't get away in time. 320. Ockham starting as they mean to go on. The first roaster was miles away and gave Riffa a chance to hit in with not one but two windy snapbacks immediately. Make that 3 and a little tap on the way down. And Ockham is feeling the pressure here because they know that that's what Riffa was waiting for. 350 damage, and Ockham has a mile to go here to even out this health deficit, but is going to get punished too with another grab. Helix is going to tie up this set one apiece. Unfortunately, you just can't do that. You cannot hold. You cannot hold a shield in front of Helix too long. Well, against any player, to be fair. And that is just the way it goes. And it looks like Ockham wants to take us straight back to Mausoleum. Scrapyard and sparring with Band. So yeah, straight back to a Mausoleum. Ockham knows which stage they prefer to fight on. And they're going to hope that they can end it here. We haven't got any additional information on what's going on down in the underground bracket. We'll give you the news between Kozolina and Yoshi when we get it. Remember, the winner of that takes on Penzo. Yan will be taking on Wasabi as well, so we're waiting on results for that. Again, we'll give them to you when we have them. But in the meantime, Riffa and Ockham, one apiece here. Ockham is going to bring in a Toaster. They're also going to bring in a Burchuk as well, so they're going to stall and slow down this Helix, and, well, they're off to a great start, already in with a big-time grab. It's exactly what they needed, but Riffa's going to fire back with a Lockjaw, and that Popper is just going to make sure they can juggle. If it hits and the Lockjaw fires out with the projectile, they'll just be juggled into a mini explosion, which, as you can see, is already snipping down that health, Ockham down to half. Riffa, ever since that initial bot, oh dear me! And this is why you don't allow Riffa to do stuff like this, because the juggle came up, the rush came out, and boy howdy, that was just a KO waiting to happen. And Riffa has taken the initiative. They came from a point down to now be on the cusp of going into winner's final. Fireball is going to hit through Ockham, but doesn't cause the knockdown. And now Ockham is going to come in with a juggle of their own, 310, and immediately splits Riffa in two, and that's another big time grab. Well, now it's, wow, the tables have turned incredibly quickly here. What in the, what? Where the hell did this come from? Ockham, what in the world was that? Where did that come from? That was a monumental dunk. Well, Ockham probably just comes into this point with a hell of a lot of momentum here. And Riffer surely cannot allow Brass to do that again. Surely not. Popper is finally going to connect. Popper and Boomerang for Riffer. They want to juggle this Brass endlessly after a result of that match. They both hit each other. Both get a knockback with the wind. Toaster isn't going to connect. It will this time round and immediately floors the Helix. Both Riff Rush available. And again, the Toaster hits Riffer just on the peak of that jump. It just clipped the toes. If Helix even has toes. And again, both hit each other with the windy knockback. Keep this up, guys. You'll get a double KO. Don't do that. And this is going to be interesting. It's going to be Brass who gets the better of the rush. Riffer is into critical. Arkham on the cusp of it. Another couple pokes. Oh my goodness me. Riffer is a hit away. Riffer is a punch away from going down here. This would be a monumental shock if this happens. It happens! My god, it happens! Arkham is knocked out. Arkham has just knocked Riffer on the ground bracket. Arkham is in winners final. I repeat, Arkham is in winners final. Oh my god. Well, I don't know about you. I don't know about you. But this next match is going to be... It's going to shape up the rest of this tournament from here. Because... Where do you go from here now? Riffer will have to fight through the underground bracket. To not just get to the grand final, but to get to top 3. I mean, this is Riffer, and we know how good Riffer is, but... Oh, this is going to be very spicy going forward here. And our second semi-final is on the horizon. Reigning champion Iceman will take on Grimwood in our second semi. Let's all catch our breath. We also have reports from the underground bracket that Coslina has knocked out Yoshi Bowser in a 2-1 set. There's a lot of 2-1 sets going around today, isn't there? That just goes to show you how good everyone is getting. Like, these sets are becoming very close. So Penzo will take on Coslina in the underground bracket round 2. Meanwhile, Yam has knocked out Wasabi. So Wasabi is also out of this competition. Yam has moved forward. Yam will face the loser of this coming match, which is between Iceman and Grimwood. No, that's not right. Yeah, yes, that is right. Okay, ignore me. Because yeah, Penzo and Coslina are going to Riffer. Yeah. Alright, ignore me. Big time ignore me. Right. So... Buster Beach is where we are going to start for our second semi-final match. And if you are struggling to catch your breath, remember that staying hydrated is a very important part of that. And when you're a commentator, you absolutely need water. Oh my gosh. Memes aside, getting a hydro flask is really handy. My gosh, it keeps water very, very, very cold. So, our second semi-final is on the cards, and I see Malieve giving some nice tips and advice for ARMS. Remember earlier when I said that Malieve has been helping me significantly with my Mechanica training? Yeah. Like I said, you basically ask for weapon advice and Malieve will gladly give it to you. She is the Mechanica I strive to beat. One day. Many, many years from now. Anyway, back to the match at hand. Iceman is going to come in with the Ribbon Bomber. Going to come in with that nade and the hot stuff slaps. Grimwood, meanwhile, is going to come in with the Ninjara, a Burchuck, and that wonderful Hydra. That Hydra very much designed to stop Grimwood from doing her thing in the air with all of those double jumps. And the Burchuck will just stall her just that little bit more, along with the fact that it gives you two different modes of attacking. You got the horizontal and the vertical flick, essentially. And that is going to come straight out and score 300 big damage onto Iceman. Who's going to see their health drop down the halfway mark. Grimwood has barely been scratched here, but finally the nade will double up on that, and is also going to catch Grimwood in the air. 295 big time damage, and evens up that health deficit. And if anything, taking the lead, but finally the Hydra runs through them and shuts them down. I remember Iceman dealing with a big nade explosion and the hottest of slaps, so it's trying to curve around, especially in Ninjara's mobility. It's like it's just that added little poke to try and stop them, to try and slow them down. Both with rush available and 10 seconds to go. Iceman, not taking any chances, goes for the rush on the 10-second mark and will take the initiative in this first point. What are we looking at here then for Grimwood? Grimwood's going to come in with that Tri-Blast now. Going to drop the Hydra for the blast. Will pick up another rush right from the get-go. 280. To put that pressure straight onto Ribbon Gold. Meanwhile, Iceman not going to switch from that nade or the hottest of slaps. And Ninjara playing a little bit dangerously in that corner. Does not want to be caught in a hot pocket. And especially when Iceman already has the hot gloves on. He's going to get a good time grab, and now it's Ribbon Gold who's going to be in that corner. Let's see what Grimwood can do with the Tri-Blast. They can again help with stopping and stalling Ribbon Gold's mobility, that especially in that air. But so far, Iceman is tripping on forward through it. Gets another good explosion. Grimwood, mobility aside, gets it all. And obviously, once Grimwood does block with Ninjara, Ninjara's block allows Ninjara to just teleport in. Hardest of slaps was denied the first time round, but not on the second time of asking, nor the third. Grimwood did not get any purchase out of that rush at all. He's going to find themselves down again in that corner, down into critical condition. Iceman has a bit of a health lead here. Just every single time the slap is just right on Ninja's backside. And now forced back into the corner. Iceman, because they're consistently flinging out the slap, they've charged up rush incredibly quickly. But what about that for a comeback there from Grimwood? All they're looking for is just a little bit of survival here. They have the tiniest of health leads, but they fall foul to a slap. That slap has been their Achilles heel all match. And it's going to give Iceman the lead right at the end. That is a 0 for the reigning champion. And we will see where that takes us to. And Grimwood, I think we might be having another connection check here. The bands are coming out. Looks like Grimwood might be having an internet issue. Going to Mausoleum for our next match. Grimwood knows exactly where he wants to take us, so that's where we're going to go. And they're going to stick with their same characters. Obviously, Ribbon Girl is so much faster than... no, sorry, I'm wrong there. Grimwood has switched from Ninjara to Max Brass. And it's coming in with not one, but two Chillers. And Iceman seems to expect this kind of shenanigans because they're bringing in a Seiki. So they're going in for some big time explosions here. Nade and Seiki is the combination. And you see how long Grimwood stays in that shocked state if the Seiki gets anywhere near him. So the Chills will be aiming to try and just stall and slow down Ribbon Girl as much as possible. And Iceman is just looking for a massive amount of damage with this sneaky loadout, because boy howdy, if you get hit with a Russian that, you'll know it. But so far, the chill is going to hit. Grimwood immediately jumps to the side, and that was perfectly played. Baited out Iceman's rush, jumped to the side, and came in with one of their own. Really good movements there from Grimwood. Iceman is going to be on the cusp of going into critical, with Grimwood with a big time health lead. Going to shrug off the first nade, not going to get bothered by the Seeky. Like I said, this is a little bit nervy here for Ribbon Gold. These two arms are not working against Brass here. The Seeky finally floors the big guy, but both with rush available, and Iceman is rapidly running out of time here. 20 seconds to go. Grimwood has a massive health lead. Sure, a rush could change that, but would you risk that with 10 seconds to go? Never mind. The answer is yes. 460 damage, and just like that, oh my god! I give up. I absolutely give up. Grimwood winning that could not have seen any more likely at that point. But Grimwood will take the point. If you're Iceman, you're probably kicking yourself because you just couldn't get out of the way of the rush in time, and you probably weren't expecting Grimwood to come out with 2 seconds to go on the clock. But that's exactly what happened, and Iceman will start with rush pretty much available to them. And Grimwood already at the halfway mark. Iceman has dropped the Seeky and is going to bring in the hottest of slaps once again. And is immediately flinging Brass up. 260 damage. The Chill's not going to find the mark this time. It finally does. But Grimwood is floored down anyway. Because they are into critical, they will have that buffed up state. That's going to be a big time grab for Brass. And Grimwood tried to go for another cheeky one, but Iceman's like, no. I can actually outspeed you on this one. And one more tap against Grimwood, and they will go down here. Iceman pretty much with rush back available, and the grab is punched through. And Iceman will tie up this second point, one apiece. Now, here is how we're going to play this. Iceman just a point away from going through 2-0, but this chill combination is stands to be a little bit more of an annoyance to Iceman here. And Grimwood jumps straight up, comes in with the rush. 305 damage, and the final blow is with the roaster, that unguided goodness. Oh, Grimwood couldn't get the punish. 280 damage as a result. They got the hard part done, but unfortunately I think the roaster, that is his unguided nature coming back to bite him, just completely missed Ribbon and couldn't get the punish. So Grimwood will have to do this the hard way. They've got a health lead, so there's that. But their arm is also weak on the right hand side, so they'll need to be careful here, because these hot slaps once again are breaking through, just like they did against whilst he was coming in with Ninjara. They're doing exactly the same, and because Iceman is coming out with slap after slap after slap, they've already got a rush available, and they're going to bring it in straight away. Grimwood is a poke away from going down. Roaster, I think, disabled the nade, but the slap again is going to connect, and Brass just can't... Grimwood just can't seem to do anything about it. Every time the slap comes out, he just can't block it. And Iceman, after a very nervy set there, will come out of this 2-0, but that scoreline really does not tell you the whole story, because... Ooh, I think Iceman was probably kicking himself after that first point in the second match, because... Yeah, that was... That was not as easy as they probably thought it was going to be. They thought they had it with the shock with 10 seconds to go and the big time missile rush. And then Arkham, and then, sorry, not Arkham, and Grim. I keep saying Arkham because they're both playing Brass. They're both playing Brass. Oh my word. But still, that was an amazing experience to watch. And, well played to everyone involved. That was great fun, but it is the reigning champion who will progress through. Nope, that's not the overlay I want. We are not ended. We are nowhere near ended because we are gearing up for winners final. And like I said, it will be between the reigning champion, Iceman, and they will be going up against Okrim. Now we've seen how Ribbon Girl has been bouncing around the Max Brass, and Grimwood has been, you know, and Grimwood went from playing with Ninjara to the Brass. But obviously Okrim is very much Brass all the way, so we're going to see if that aggressive playstyle that Okrim brings to the table is going to be able to stop Ribbon Girl from bouncing around the hard way, and that is just with pure brute strength. We'll find out. They're both doing their ready ups now. I can give you news from the underground bracket that Kozolina has knocked out Penzo. Penzo is out of the tournament, 2 points to nil. So in the underground quarterfinals, because that's what they are, Riffa will be taking on Kozolina and Grimwood will be taking on Yam. Some very big matches down there, and that's just to get into top 4. So you get how close this tournament has been. How loaded the underground bracket is right now. Like, my word, this is big time damage right now. And seems like Okrim forgot about Temple Grounds. Iceman is taking it to there. And that's how we're going to start off. Iceman are going to switch out that Ribbon Girl for Min Min. So they'll probably have a loadout in mind here going up against Okrim. Iceman on the left. That's not updated. There we go. Iceman on the left, Okrim on the right. Winners finals a go, and remember, this is now best of 5 territory. And Okrim's going to send Iceman immediately down into that corner, but it's going to fall foul to that Sparky. Iceman with the Ice Dragon and the Sparky. The Sparky, I do believe, is the one on the Dragon Arm, so it's a very big glove for a very big boy. And Okrim's going to lose the arm on the left-hand side. Coming in with that Popper and that Toaster. Is going to find the charge on Iceman, and obviously any time that Popper can connect as a charged hit, it's going to disable Iceman's Dragon Arm, and he'll have to charge it all up again. He's going to fall foul to a little poke from that Toaster, but Okrim's aggressive play is being punished so far by Iceman. But at the same time, they kind of need to, because that Ice Dragon excels at being a ranged hitter. And that's exactly why, just 1-2 pokes like that, if the Dragon can clip you, all the Sparky needs to do is just punch right on through. And yeah, that's just about how it goes. Min Min is going to come straight back out with that Sparky and Ice Dragon. Okrim going to stick with that Toaster. I'm going to bring in a Birchwood as well, so I'm going to play with some Fire and Ice. And going to jump over for the rush. It will land. 280 damage. Remember, Iceman does have one of their own, and if that laser can hit, again, it's big rush damage. But right now, Okrim has got a Toaster with Min Min's name on it and is finding a lot of these punches at the moment. Arm weak on the side, but it's just going to quickly nip away. And that's going to be a free grab for Min Min. Gets the shock and grab combination that we are so used to seeing in this competitive environment. Okrim with just over half health, Iceman just under half health, so it's a very close match here, but crucially here, Okrim has got another rush charge, but it's going to fall down to the laser! Oh no, and that's going to be a free rush for Iceman, and that could be a KO, and it is a KO, and that was just unfortunate for Okrim. And Iceman is going to take that down, and is going to move into the set with a 1-point lead. That was a little unfortunate there for Okrim. They popped out the rush just before the laser fired, and unfortunately, laser was a little too far at the side, so it wasn't going to get knocked down anytime soon, and it just immediately denied Okrim. So just the wrong time to drop that rush. We are now going to go to Mausoleum, which is Okrim's pick. Iceman is ready. Probably going to stick with the usual shenanigans here. And we will see what Occam is thinking about. Are they thinking of, maybe not so much a character switch, but more than likely thinking of an arm switch. And we'll see what Occam decides to bring into this. Iceman will likely stick with that Ice Dragon. It's been working. Well, it worked in Temple Grounds. But will they choose to use it again? They will do. Sparky and Ice Dragon. Occam gonna bring in a Tri-Bolt here. So the Tri-Bolt is going to just... gonna be a little bit more of a watch for Iceman here. Both trade with an initial punch, and you can see how many bolts. It's the 3 horizontal bolts, and it does get the stun, and it allows Occam to be incredibly aggressive here, because obviously you're a very big character as it is. Oh, wow, and that grab just about reached 170 damage. Look at how aggressive Occam's playing, and Iceman doesn't seem to have an answer for it at the moment. Like, they can get hits in, but brass is brass, and he just doesn't give a damn. It's like, oh, you hit me. Okay, I'm gonna go through that and just blow you up. And yeah, this is why you don't allow Occam to take you to Mausoleum, because this is proven to be quite a battle here. Iceman realizes that the dragon is just not working. Like, when you are being just completely engaged in a one-on-one fight at pretty much face pace, it's just like you can't do anything with the dragon. Both will secure a rush 230 from Occam and catches Min Min with the nade as well. And it means that Iceman cannot get that dragon arm up in the slightest. Another nade catches Min Min, and Occam is right at home here on Mausoleum. Unfortunately, the nade just whiffing, but gets the bolt as a stun. Arm weak on the right hand side, but crucially gets the shock against Occam. Occam is just looking for a couple more big heavy hitters, both with rush available. And Iceman knows that this is not where they'd want to be, and the stun! Occam looked at that, saw the stun happen, and went, I'm gonna just quickly send the ball back at you. I'm pretty sure you won't move away in time. And you didn't. Occam, with an inspired arm switch, and the Tri-Bolt worked to their playstyle, and just shut down Iceman completely. Even after Iceman switched to the Chakram, it still wasn't enough. Occam just was consistently in there. The bolts were hitting significantly more than I think Iceman was expecting. And yeah, that's just what happens there. So match number 3 is coming up, and we are going to be progressing forward. Back to Temple Grounds. You can probably see a pattern coming on here. We have news from the underground bracket that Kosalina is out. Riffa has defeated them 2 points to 1, so Riffa is having sets taken away from them in this tournament. So it's always really cool to see when people take points away from Riffa. So it's always awesome to see. So commiserations to Kosalina dropping out, but you played pretty damn well. As we come into our 3rd match in the winners final, Iceman is bringing in a Seiki and a nade with that wonderful ribbon bomber loadout. Occam, however, going to stick with that Tri-Bolt nade, seeing if they can have a better time on Temple Grounds than they did last time they were here. But that Seiki is already proven to be a little bit more of a nuisance. Managed to get the poking before it could set off the explosion this time round, so Occam will take that, but will jump into the AoE. And that explosion will stun you. That's just how it goes. And another stun. Never underestimate how big the AoE of that Seiki is, and that is not the place you want to be. 370. That's going to be a quick KO for Iceman there. And this 3rd match is, this winners final is very much starting to heat up here. Okay, thinking about what they want to do here. Are they going to stick with the Tri-Bolt nade? It looks like they will do, and Iceman not going to switch either. This loadout is absolutely fine for them, and they are comfortable on this map, and you can easily tell that. And Occam, unfortunately, not the right time to pop that rush. Ribbon Girl hadn't committed yet, and was easily able to dash around and punish. This could be another nade explosion, and Iceman proving why they are the reigning Challenge Cup champion. This finally knocked back down, and this mobility is working against Akrim in every way, but then again, so is the weapon loadout. The bots just cannot find their mark. And Iceman jumps straight over, and I'm afraid this will be a... No, it won't be a KO, 410, but Akrim has a mountain to climb, and, well, one more hit from anything. Oh! That what? There was a... I keep forgetting that is a thing that can happen. Oh, Iceman inadvertently shocked the pair of them. And they were just like, alright, guess we're just gonna dance here for 2 seconds. Oh, dear me. Well, Iceman still got the win in either case, but that's just how it goes. So, Iceman will lead this set 2 points to 1. Oh my word. But yeah, that is the danger you run with having a Seiki. If you get too close to your opponent and it's charged and it's hit, you can self-destruct on yourself and cause you both to be shocked for the entire duration. It's it's silly when it happens. It's a rarity when it happens because you just rarely see it in competitive play. So it's like, that was amusing. That was quite amusing. Alright, so Akrim needs to win this next point to stay in contention. But whatever happens, Akrim will be in top 3. Because remember, the lowest you go down to for losing... Oh. Akrim wants to take us back to Temple Grounds, which is an interesting decision. So it will still be Ribbon Girl versus Max Bass, but Akrim, instead of choosing Mausoleum to go back to, wants to take us here again, back to the Temple Grounds. And Akrim, why have you brought the Bifflers? In fact, you're bringing a Biffler and a Scorpion into this fight, and, well, it immediately hits on Ribbon Girl. Now, the Biffler, as you can see on the left-hand side of your screen, immediately just acts as a smoke screen, essentially. If it hits you charged up, you're going to get Biff's face all over the place. And Brass was just a little too far away to get the punish on the Seiki. Scorpion gives Brass a couple of different ways to attack, but against the nade and against the Seiki, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see that work out. Obviously, it can spin around, and Akrim was expecting Iceman to come in, instead just blinds them temporarily with the Biff. So if you see Biff's face all over the place on the left-hand side of the screen, you know why. And so far, it is working, and both are going to pop the rush, but Iceman is going to have better purchase on it, just on the fact that both of those arms are significantly heavier than what Akrim is bringing to the table. Iceman is in critical. Akrim now joins them with this heavy hitting approach. Blocks out the Seiki, waits for the explosion to die down, and hits with the poison. Doesn't quite leave the stack that they'd like to. That's going to be a shark. Oh, they just got away with it. And what? What is happening in this match? What is happening in this set? Brass, I thought, was just about to get grabbed. Instead, just about got it away from them. And Akrim is going to start with a self-destruct on Iceman's side and takes this to another point. Again, grabbed just a little too far away this time round. Akrim being peppered by explosion after explosion. Scorpio, I think, just about hit. Applies the one little stack. Ribbon with a rush in hand. To be fair, Akrim has it as well. These pillars playing a good part and is going to catch Ribbon Girl big time. 315 damage. Applies that stack again. Big shot. Grab. This time will go through. Iceman is having none of that shenanigans. Now obviously the Biffler is still handy. It is still good against Ribbon Girl because it is essentially the Hydra, just less powerful and more annoying. Rush is going to come out. Akrim is not going to bat an eyelid to that. No big time damage this time around. Scorpion's going to go for a wonder, but it's not going to nibble anything today. Oh, Akrim, you let your guard down just a little too soon there. And that's why you need to be so careful of the AoE of that Seiki. It could still linger around. Grab is going to connect. That should KO. It will KO. After a very nervy fight there, Iceman will take it 3 points to 1. And will go forward into the grand... No, they won't. It's still a point in this. I thought Iceman was leading. My bad. I completely forgot that Argrim got that ridiculous save from the end of the last round. We've still got a point to play. Argrim could still turn this around. He's going to bring in a popper this time round, which is even lighter. And if you thought the previous arm Argrim was using was light, the popper is even lighter, but they're trying to hope that it can get in quick enough to just stop Ribbon from doing any kind of attack, any kind of push. But the arm weak on the left hand side and completely broke down. Finally does hit with that pop and sends them back a little bit, but Rush is going down, and that's how quick the popper is! And I think Argrim realizes that's probably what they can do. It's situational, yes, but it completely denied Iceman the chance to get that rush out. And now Argrim has to play the patient game here, gets another hit with the Bifflet. Ribbon trying to figure out where that will go. And, yep, Argrim too close to really do the shield kind of tactics. Jumped past the Seiki. And that's going to be game. That will now be game. And Iceman is through. Iceman is into the grand final. 3 points to 1. The chat keeps hiding my box, which isn't helping. So I can't press update and re-update quick enough. But it is official. Iceman is through. Your reigning Challenge Cup champion is in the grand final yet again. Argrim will drop down into the underground brackets, but like I said, they are guaranteed a top 3 finish, and that is the most important part there for Argrim. Meanwhile, down in the underground bracket, I think that's where we're going to spend most of our time now, isn't it? It's time for Riffa to engage in the underground semi-final. We are waiting on results between Grimwood and Yam. Who wins that match will face Riffa for a place in top 3. It's as simple as that. So whilst we wait for the winner of that match, we're going to be right back so I can just get a quick moment to gather my thoughts and breath. And I will see you all in just one moment. We will be right back. Welcome back, everyone. Oh my goodness me! Welcome back, everyone, to the surprise of the session. We've got double Mechanicas as we get ourselves into the Underground semi-final. You have made both myself and Malieve incredibly happy. So, Grimwood on the right-hand side is going to come in with the Popper and the Whammer. Riffa, meanwhile, is coming in with a Chiller and a Coolerang. So, very different loadouts here, and obviously the Coolerang is going to try and get around that Whammer. And for Grimwood, they're just hoping that Popper can just hit before anything else can happen. When counter picking goes wrong. Yeah, pretty much. I just like the fact that they both brought out a Mechanica, okay? So, Riffa will start with Rush and will ignore Grimwood's pretty much, but Grimwood is going to give Riffa a nice little hug. Chiller is going to slow down Mechanica that a little bit more, and the grab is also going to come out as well. Riffa quickly jumps straight back into position, but it's another grab from Grimwood here. They're exchanging their grabs here, and Riffa not wanting to go ahead and use their Rush just yet, and get caught slightly by that Whammer, but it's okay. They score with the grab, and they send Grimwood down. Do remember that this is the last best of 3 of this tournament. And Riffa taking the initiative in this match. Oh my goodness me. So, Riffa's going to switch out. They're going to bring in a Kablammer to go up against Grimwood's Whammer. And now we're going to find out which hammer truly is the best. Is it the heavy hitting, big time damage Kablam? Or is it going to be our squeaky stunner? And Rush is going to come out, but Riffa is going to just block all of that. Is going to fall foul to a hammer at the last second. And again, another squeaky little poke. Riffa is down to half health. And the hammer, I thought, just about made it. But Riffa's Rush says no, it does not. And it's going to be half and half here. It's just a complete boxing match at this point. Riffa has now managed to take the initiative back towards them. They're just looking for a couple more hits to take this point and lead the Underground semi-final. And Grimwood is going to just go ahead and use the Rush now to keep this set alive. And it's one apiece in our first point. Riffa not gonna switch from that. Nope, gonna stick with the Chiller and the Kablammer. And Grimwood says, you know what? I'll stick with my loadout as well. Let's keep being hammer buddies, because why not? They are unfortunately gonna fall foul to 335 of this combination. It's still always surreal to see a Mechanica Ditto match happen. I say that knowing full well that I practice in Relieve and we go through this on a regular basis. Grimwood is already down to critical, which just shows you how relentless the Kablammer is once it starts being played in such an aggressive manner. And Grimwood finally does get a couple of pokes away. But they're struggling here. They manage to line with the Popper, but because it's not charged, it's not sending Mechanica flying anywhere near as much as they'd like it to. Gonna fall foul to another Chiller. Punches through the grab. Manages to get a connection out. And does manage to juggle it this time around. They do! 325 damage. But now they're gonna have to suffer through the fact that Riffa has a Rush that doesn't even need to be used. Riffa is going to take the initiative in this Underground semi-final set, leading by a point to 0. So for those of you who are just joining us, welcome back to the EU Arms Challenge Cup. It is great to have you all here as usual. Grimwood did manage to beat Yam in a 2-1 set, which is why they've made it into this Underground semi-final matchup where they go up against Riffa. Looks like we're going to be going to Buster Beach for our second match. And for Grimwood, it is a must-win. They are in top 4, but to be on that sheet, to say that they came at the very least third, they'll need to try and reverse Riffa around here. Riffa going to stick with our wonderfully cool Mechanica. And Grimwood is going to come in with the brass. A Thunderbird and a Toaster for our muscular fiend. And Riffa meanwhile going to stick with them cool arms. The chiller and the coolerang slows Brass down even more than necessary. So I'll make sure that Thunderbird does not get any pokes. And you see how aggressive Riffa is playing as Mechanica here. It works surprisingly well if you don't allow your opponent to just get the chance to even start doing anything. Grimwood down into critical already. The buffs will come up. But look how energetic and mobile and everything. Riffa is going for a perfect here, and I think they'll find it. No, they need one more poke to find that all elusive perfect. We haven't seen one in this tournament today yet, but I think we will. No, we won't. It's not a perfect. Apparently there must have been chip damage in there. I honestly thought that would have been a perfect. Riffa denied that, and Grimwood's going to come in with not one, but two roasters, and immediately gets floored by a chiller, and a big time hug will make sure that Riffa does not get anywhere near a repeat of that. Make that two big hugs. And a roaster poke as well. Grimwood has suddenly just changed this match around and is going to fire another rush as well. All of this damage, 330, and Grimwood, where does this come from? This is a completely and utterly different Grimwood here. They're just looking for one more poke, and Riffa is going to have to do this again. But now it's that unguided nature. Riffa has that kind of momentum going, and gosh, could you imagine the comeback of this magnitude here from Riffa? It would not be the first time we'd have seen something like this, but it's not going to happen this time. Roser is going to finally punch through and take the Mechanica down. My word, Grimwood, sometimes I do wonder where in the world these moments come from. Gonna stick with the double roaster. Riffa gonna bring in a Kablammer and try and hammer down this Brass to make sure that this does not go any further than match number 2. Both with rush available. Riffa's already taken a low point of damage there. You can just see it. Brass has enough time to get away from that Kablammer. But it's just hoping that the roasters find their mark, especially as unguided arms. Remember, does find it this time round. Santa Mechanica straight back down. And unfortunately, sidesteps straight into that exploding hammer. But a nice big hug will make sure that that health deficit is not as big as Riffa would like it to be. In fact, Grimwood now has a slight lead here, both holding onto their rush. Probably looking to hold on to it until they can get that KO blow, knowing that they're both fighting from such a long range here. Grimwood wanting to try and just extend this lead out where possible, especially knowing full well if they can take this to a third match with how topsy-turvy this point has been, it might be in their favor. And Riffa is not liking these hits coming through. That's a self-destruct as well as a roaster hit. Grab is coming through. Oh, they both hit each other. They both got a hit on each other. Grimwood goes down into critical as well. Riffa still has less health, and another solid roaster hurt. Grimwood is just waiting, just looking for one more. They both are shielding. 7 seconds to go. This is going to be crucial time. Oh my word, 3 seconds to go. Grimwood just about has a lead. Quickly backs off and is not going to take any further damage. Grimwood knew they had to just run to the ends of the earth. And it's exactly what they did. We are going to play a third match in this set. Oh my word. We have had a lot of very close sets here today. Oh my word, that was intense. But Grimwood hangs on for dear life. We are gonna go to a match 3. We're gonna go to DNA Labs. Riffa's gonna stick with the Mechanica, and Grimwood is gonna stick with Brass. Are we going to see an upset against Riffa 2 times in a row? Hold your breath, everyone. This is gonna be a very, very interesting match here. Riffa is gonna come in with the Chiller and the Coolerang again. Grimwood is gonna come in with a Roaster and a Sparky, and immediately gets the shock and a big time 170 grab straight through not 1 but 2 tubes. That was the start Grimwood is looking for, and there's almost half Riffa's health from the get-go. Both are just choosing to shield around this tube. Neither of them really want to dance. They just want to stand there and block. And as a result, Mechanic's like, alright, grab time then. We're going to do this. And Grimwood immediately goes with the no you. And you really don't want to do a grab fight against Brass because Brass will come off the better. They hit that little bit harder with those grabs. Chiller right in front of Grimwood's face. And a rush comes out and Riffer is in critical condition and is 2 punches away from going down here. Rush is available, but they've got such a health lead to jump through here that it probably won't matter. No, the shock was out, but Brass did not get it in time, but is going to get that grab. And Brass leads. Grimwood leads here. Grimwood leads. It is on set point. Riffer has the rush available. It is going to score. Blocks out. Both went for the grab there. And Grimwood, oh god, unfortunately just a little too impatient there. Will take 275 damage. And Riffer is now wailing in with all of the coolness. But finally gets slowed down just a little bit by that big time grab from Grimwood. They have to be so careful here. They're playing a lot more ranged here, and that Coolerang is being allowed to sneak in every now and then. Brass is going to come in with another bait on that rush, and it's going to send in with 310. Slices the half back down. If that Sparky had hit there, Riffer would have been in a lot of trouble, and is now definitely in trouble. On the cusp of going into critical. Has rush almost ready, but they need to hang on for just a couple more seconds for it to ping off. There it is. But with the amount of punches that Grimwood is swinging out, don't think that they probably won't have anything in them as well. 255 into critical, though they're now buffed up. With 35 seconds, Grimwood could still get something out of this. They have the rush. Riffer has to be incredibly careful here because a rush will KO them if they're in the wrong spot here. They're just dancing around. They're going to get grabbed. Grimwood now has a monumental chance at the upset of the tournament if Riffer goes out in underground bracket, and you can see it coming. The rush is out! Riffer is out! Riffer is out! Riffer has not made top 3 in a tournament! Oh my god! Well, I don't know about you, but that has caught me by surprise. That, I don't believe it. Arkham knocks Riffer out into the underground bracket with a 2-1 set, and Grimwood fights back. And Grimwood fights back 1-0 down against Riffer to knock Riffer out of the tournament. So you are reading this correctly. The underground final will be contested between Okrim and Grimwood. And what is going to be a quite unbelievable underground final here. This is for a place in the grand final to go up against Iceman. Both of these competitors have lost to Iceman. Grimwood losing 2-0 in their match in the upper semi-final, and then Okrim losing 3-1 against Iceman in the winners final. It is anyone's guess where we go from here. But this promises to be an amazing top 3 showcase. Grimwood is going to come in with Coil, and Okrim naturally is coming in with Max Brass. Buckle up, everyone. It's best of 5s from here on out. Away we go. Coil is coming in with not 1, not 2, but technically 3 nades. Because whenever those arms are charged up, whichever side is charged, it's gonna be an additional nade to throw. Okrim, meanwhile, is coming in with 2 roasters. So both of these combatants, and this is a rarity by the way, will be coming in with only unguided arms. So this really is gonna be down to who will land the most hits here. Both missing on the grabs. Obviously, Coil does have that that wonderful floatiness. They could just hover up and down, which makes it just a little bit harder to hit and pin down. Okrim is going to take a massive time rush down. Obviously, the nades are going to do big time damage with that as a result. Okrim down into critical. Will bulk it out. Is then immediately going in on the aggressive side of things. Coil decloaks, but straight into another grab, and Okrim is going to start to get a hit of a rhythm going here, but Grimwood just about gets the shield up and only takes 30 as a result, but is again getting knocked straight out of the sky with roasters, and Okrim is playing out of their mind here. What are these reads? But finally goes down to the grab. That was catching up to Coil very, very quickly, but they managed to finally get a grab of their own, but boy, Okrim for just like a few seconds had that read going there. They were just consistently knowing where Coil was decloaking at, and just a poke and a grab, and it's just, you sort of felt like Grimwood knew the worst was coming. So very good that that grab came through, and Grimwood gets a slight bit of a stun and sets up 310 from that rush with that nade and a Hydra combination. And obviously the Hydra, once it's charged up, it just straight up knocks Brass down. That's exactly what the Fire Element is designed to do. And Okrim already on the cusp of going down into critical condition, and is there now. Finally does bulk up, bringing in their Thunderbird of their own. But unfortunately it's no match for Coil, and our wonderfully gifted scientist is up by a point to 0. You are unstoppable, Coil. You had a bit of a scare though in that first point, so you're going to have to be a little bit more careful of that. And we're going to go straight back to Mausoleum. Okrim is not messing around here. Straight back to our wonderfully spooky place. Grimwood going to come back in with double roasters. Okrim going to come in with a popper this time round to go alongside that nade, and is immediately going to make quick use of it. But Coil reminding Brass, who's the real boss, getting in a good time grab. But again, that popper, it's such a quick arm that you sometimes just forget how quick that is. It's immediately going to knock Grimwood straight back down. Roasters are coming out. And again, there will be at least 3 of them, because you just see that additional one just spawn, so it's that little more extra for Brass to try and dodge. And so far, Okrim's picks are not quite working here. The roasters are just completely barraging them down, but Grimwood got a little overconfidence with the attack, does get caught in that rush. But is immediately just going to shake that straight off, gets another big time grab, and is now pretty much just looking for another punch. to try and take Ockrim down by another point. Grimwood going to come out with a rush, not going to play safe at all, but in doing so played right into Ockrim's hand, who scores a big time grab. Both are needing just a single punch here. That's all they need. The popper is just being cancelled. And Grimwood, you could just see just completely spamming the attacks there because they know they can punch through the popper and they could just about stop the nades. They was just hoping one of these goes through eventually, and it did. Hydra just missing on that next attack. He's going to get another grab to punish the overuse of that shield. So basically, we got technically 4 nades on the field. And obviously, if you thought the quick spamming of the gloves were bad enough, now you're going to have 6 vertical bolts every now and then coming through as well. So, we'll see how this all plays out. Ockrim not liking this matchup at the moment, but finally is getting a couple of big time hits, but Grimwood on point with these. Absolutely on point with the nades and the hydras. And does send Ockrim right back down. Both arms weak. One goes down on the left, the other on the right is still a little bit unfavored. But that won't matter anymore. Ockrim is bulked up and ready to fling in as many nades as possible. But it feels like they're being a little too impatient. These are finally starting to come through. But Coil is landing these all important grabs. Grimwood is going to take the initiative again. Leading this set 2 points to 0. So, Grimwood is on the cusp. Are we seriously going straight back to Mausoleum? Are you serious? Yep. Straight back to Mausoleum. And it looks like Grimwood is on the verge of going up to Grants. What an amazing run that Ockrim has done to get this far. So far they haven't had an answer for Coil. They're getting the damage through, they're getting the punches, but Grimwood, every now and then, just when they feel like the momentum is starting to shift, they just get another grab in there, and it just turns it completely. Now they're coming in with triple nade spam. Meanwhile, Ockrim coming in with that tri-blast to try and stall out Coil, to try and actually stop her from doing her flying shenanigans. And she's just consistently straight back up there. And obviously you have to do that additional read to know where she's going to decloak, either to the left of you or to the right. Ockrim will commit to this rush. 335, slices the health down so that it's just about on edge. But again, just like before, the second Grimwood knows that that momentum is starting to shift, just another well-timed grab and scores with 120 on that rush as well. They just need a grab. That's what they're going to get. And that is set point for Grimwood. They're looking for one more win. And they are booking their ticket into Grand Final. Grimwood going to stick with the double nades. Ockrim going to stick with the double. Going to go back to double roaster. He's going to get caught up by another explosion from those nades. And right now Grimwood is in a dominant position here. And again has already sliced Ockrim's health straight down to half. It's going to get pegged finally by a couple of well-timed roaster hits. Punches through the grab attempt. And this is going to be interesting, but it's not going to make it in time. And Grimwood gets the better of that rush as well. Ockrim just managed to get another roaster hit in there. But a couple more punches and a grab especially is going to take Ockrim down. One more hit is all that Grimwood's looking for. The explosion will seal it. And Grimwood shuts Ockrim out with a 3-0 set. So commiserations to Ockrim there, but still, Ockrim made it to winners final. Not getting a riffle on the way, it must be said. And getting to the underground final. They finish in top 3. They finish in 3rd place. And it's not the first time they finished 3rd either, so props to Okrim. They managed to get back into the top 3, and I couldn't be more proud of them. You did so damn well. You have no idea how well you did today, but congratulations. Let's get some hearts and some round of applause in the chat for Okrim. They did exceptionally well to get up here, and congratulations on finishing 3rd. But now it's time for the big one. This is the moment you've all been waiting for. The reigning Challenge Cup champion Iceman versus Grimwood. Best of 5, as is usually the case for the grand finals. And remember, Grimwood has to beat Iceman not in 1 set, but in 2 sets. If Iceman does lose, we have a bracket reset, because it will be their first loss. You get the general idea. We will be starting on DNA Lab. And can I just say, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 of our best of 3 matches today went to match 3. That is how close the competitive community in the EU scene is currently. That is outrageous. Grimwood on the left as Coil coming in with that Roaster and Nade combination. Iceman coming in with Min Min with the Chakram and the Ice Dragon. This promises to be an entertaining grand final as we kick things off. Both arms on Coil already weak, but finally starting to fade away just that little bit. Tubes are falling down left, right and center. Coil with Rush are ready to go and does manage to catch Iceman before they can properly zip away. And slices that health down nicely. Iceman hasn't actually got the Rush available yet. Finally does so now. But again, jumps straight into another one of Grimwood's attack. This time it's the grab. Iceman thought about getting the Dragon Arm up on the Chakram. Finally does so now. That will make that little bit of a bigger hitbox for Grimwood to try and avoid. Stuck into that coil. Stuck into that corner was Coil. Did get the camera up so it allowed them to just, I say teleport out. It makes it a little bit harder for the read to come out. And look at this, Grimwood just immediately straight up with the Rush. Got the initial connection, but the tube denied the rest of it. Both in critical condition here. And the Chakram obviously hard enough to avoid as it is, but the Dragon is relentless if it's allowed the range. But Iceman will get the grab, and that will poke the KO home against the Coil. Round 2 about to go down. Grimwood just coming in with double, technically triple the nades. And Iceman going to stick with that Chakram and the Ice Dragon combination. Providing Grimwood doesn't try to play too aggressive, Iceman is able to still use that Dragon nicely. But look at all of the explosions that are coming out. Iceman having a little bit more of a harder time with this and does manage to evade it all this time. Grimwood takes the initial poke from the Ram, but quickly shields the rest of it down, knowing full well that Dragon will just tear through their health. So basically a trade for trade there. And Iceman crucially got out of the way of the initial attack, which is what set up the stalemate in the first place. Nade forced to self-destruct there in front of Grimwood. Both nades, I was gonna say missed, but again, the AoE just catching out Iceman there. Grab coming through, but denied by the Chakram. It's a very tense and nervy fight here for both participants. Both now with Rush back available. See if they do a little bit more of a better time with this. Coil kind of stuck in that corner, but then don't mind it so much. Again, the pressure from all of these nades coming out. There's so many explosions to have to avoid. And I think it's starting to swamp Iceman just that little bit more. Iceman down into critical. Grimwood's going to commit to the Rush and is going to outbox Iceman this time around. Iceman did activate it there, but Grimwood's nade, I think, was already on the way. It probably wasn't going to get the Chakram, certainly wasn't going to get there in time. And Iceman going to drop out that Dragon, realizing that Grimwood is starting to turn that heat up. Sparky is now going to come out, so they're going to try and shock and stun this coil into submission. Shagman hits immediately, can't get the follow-up punishment they were looking for. Does get the time to charge up that Dragon Arm, so the Sparky is permanently up in play until they are knocked down by a nade or a grab. Again, you just see those explosions just clipping Iceman every now and then, just causing them a little bit of stutter. If Grimwood was close enough, they could use that to go in for a grab combination, but it's not really Coil's nature. Oh my word, that was a self-destruct, I do believe. That completely denied Grimwood the rush. Sparky gets the shock, and I think Iceman realized they were just a little too far away to go for the rush punish, which is why they sent in another quick little Sparky. You see 3 nades just come charging straight at you, but Iceman was far enough away to get away with that, but has lost the Dragon Arm again. Shagwan will come in with the rush, and that is 295. Grimwood on the cusp of hitting into critical, now does so thanks to the shield chip damage, but that should do it. Iceman will start with the initiative in this set. The reigning Cup champion starts with a point 10-0. So very interesting set there. Well, very interesting start to the set. And it looks like we are going to have another connection check here. So obviously you can't really see it. Obviously, you know, what we see is just the 1v1s, you know, the fight happening. Sometimes we'll notice the lag and the stutters, but obviously you as a player will notice it significantly more than when you're watching it as a spectator. Grimwood is experiencing monumental connection issues, so they're just going to quickly run off and reset the router and the lobby again. So I'm just going to quickly switch the names around as a result. Since Grimwood has left the lobby, it will now put Iceman back on the left. So whilst we await, again, just to reiterate what I said earlier, and I feel like it's worth properly highlighting. Obviously in our matches we have 3 best of 5, maybe 4 if a reset happens. And depending on the amount of players that we have up will determine how many best of 3s we have. In this instance, with 12 people, I say with 12 people, it's actually 11 because one person was unfortunately unable to make it, which was the Fur. So as a result, we've had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 matches that were all best of 3s. So 17 best of 3 matches. Out of those 17, 9 of those went to match 3. That is how close this tournament has been. And even then, some of the 2-0 matches have had very close matches in them. So any time that we come up and we think that, oh, maybe the competitive scene in a game is being a bit stagnant, maybe there are a couple players who are just flat out untouchable, there are still a lot of people practicing and learning a game regardless of what's going on. And all you need to do is look at these kind of stats and go, oh, damn, this is actually really close-knit competitive scene. Yes, ARMS may not be as big as other games out there, but the competitive scene is still incredibly competitive. Like, the very first rounds we had Slacks and Yoshi, and we've seen those two play against each other oh so many times, and they went to 2-1. And, you know, sometimes you expect to see that with certain people. Like, you see Yoshi and Slacks and you know it's probably going to go to distance. You see Iceman going up against Riffer and whatnot, you know they're going to go to distance. Heck, quite a lot of the matches where you are contesting people like Iceman and Riffer, the more you contest them, the more of a chance that it will go to distance, because suddenly people are catching up to you. They are trying to dethrone you. And it's why you have to keep up that kind of, like, that reputation kind of. Like, sometimes the reputation can precede you. Like, they have the higher seeds, yes, but but that means that people have a goal. They want to beat you. And they will try and find characters and loadouts and playstyles to try and counter you, to try and best you. And it's why I love seeing these tournaments on a regular basis. Because it's like, alright, here we go, 2 weeks on. Let's see what's changed. Let's see what people have learned. It's always fun like that. And it's why when Riffa committed to doing Mechanica all the way in the underground semi, it's like, yeah, Riffa's showing that they want to learn, they're wanting to do more stuff with other characters. And Grimwood managed to fight through and go, okay, I think I've got to read on what you're doing, and just slams that down. So it's always cool to see it happen. So it's why I can't encourage people, like, even if people turn around and go, oh, I think it's too late for me to get into ARMS, it's not. It really isn't. There is still time for you to get involved in this scene, because you see how everyone is consistently evolving. And I have the privilege to see that happen with both the Challenge Cup and with the Scrap Star series, because Malieve has allowed me to do stuff with her for that. And so I've been able to see the community grow and shape up and improve throughout the past few months. So it's never too late to get involved in any scene, especially ARMS. And it looks like we are back. And it is going to be Buster Beach that we'll be going to for the start of our second match. And yes, Okrim. Yeah, I know there was a game in the eShop called Tamashi. It's a horror game. I'm aware, and I am not streaming it. That one is not happening. Okay. Iceman and Grimwood are committing to the Min Min versus Max Brass shenanigans. No, it isn't, because Grimwood used Coil in the previous match. Never mind, we got ourselves a Bass. Iceman starting off with the Sparky and the Ice Dragon. Grimwood coming back in with a nade. Also going to follow in with a Chakram to try and stun this Min Min. But again, keeping their distance, and you kind of don't want to be doing that against a dragon. The dragons are literally there to be that kind of nuisance, that they can hit you from as far range as possible. Grimwood's going to commit to a rush, but Iceman was already far enough back. All they had to do was just slide into the corner and just shield anything else. Now it's Iceman's turn, and they will connect on the left-hand side, sending Grimwood into critical condition. That damage just starting to chip away. But these big hits are starting to finally come through, and Iceman being forced into the corner. They've lost the use of that permacharge arm, which was the Sparky. Dragon is not going to come out because it's stunned by the Ram, and Grimwood with a big time grab. And is going to just stop that momentum dead there for Iceman. That was well played in the end. Despite going into critical, they kind of used that as a buff. And to be fair, oh, stun as we mean to go on with another big time hug. 170, always nice to see. And look at this, they're trying to box Min Min into that hot pocket, and another grab is going to send them straight back there. Iceman immediately tries to slide out to the side, and you know exactly why. You don't want to be down here, and Grimwood is just showing you exactly why. It's finally going to get boxed down by the Sparky. 345 from the laser. Again, flinging through with this Chakram nade combination. Iceman suddenly no longer has an answer for this. They just can't seem to move out the way. And the nade is gonna really fully explode. And my words. In this instance, Brass, you really are. It's 1 point apiece. Well then. We saw Iceman concede a point earlier, conceding a point against Okrim in the winners final. They've conceded yet another point, and this time it goes the way of Grimwood. As we get ready for match number 3 in the grand final, we are going back to DNA Lab. Iceman will commit with our wonderful Noodle Min Min. But Grimwood is going to switch up again. So Grimwood has gone from Coil to Brass and now to Kid Cobra. And you are not going to bring in 2 chucks. I did not think so. Oh no, you're coming in with this loadout. Oh boy. Grimwood coming in with a Cobra wielding the clapback and the popper. A very interesting decision here, since it's not going to really do much against the dragon. And so far the chakram on the dragon arm is just stunning Cobra in place and not allowing them to get any kind of mobility going whatsoever. The dragon is going to get hopped away, and look how quickly Cobra could just slide out of the way. Does manage to get a little bit of a hit with the clapback. I think it was off of the chakram actually, because I think Min Min did get stunned there, but nothing else as a result. Grimwood did land on the floor, but isn't able to get the shields up in time and gets sent into critical condition. Bounces over one laser, can't quite hit with the popper, and that stun is going to seal their fate. That goes into the grab. Iceman will take the initiative in point number 3. It's a very back and forth action here. As Grimwood is going to bring in that burr chuck now. Doesn't quite get the grab they were looking for. Min Min got behind the tube just in the nick of time, and oh my word! Grimwood just about got away with that. 275 damage on that rush, playing completely around that tube. Iceman probably thought they were safe initially, but not to be this time round. Chakram is now permanently charged up, but Grimwood don't care. Big time grab, sends them spiraling straight back down and removes it from their possession. And Grimwood not batting an eye to Iceman's pressure here. Zooms through a tube and gets another slam dunk. And it's gonna keep the set going here. Another 1-to-1 interaction. And Iceman's got to find a way around this. The dragon is definitely not going to help them. So Chakram and Sparky is going to be the call. They'll commit to the rush immediately. Starting things off with 295 and showing Grimwood exactly who's in charge in this grand final. As Grimwood comes in now, gets another hit with the popper, sends Min Min up and removes the dragon arm crucially. Now, when will they choose to come in with the rush? They'll want to try and preferably juggle Min Min here. But it's not as easy as you'd think it is, especially against someone like Iceman. Grimwood will just say, screw this, and commit straight in. 300 damage on that rush, but Iceman nearly has one charged up of their own. Gets the quick little cheeky poke there with the bird chuck, and just about misses the Sparky here that was coming from Iceman. Iceman on the cusp of going into critical. Grimwood just underneath 50% as we approach 50 seconds to go. Still plenty of time to fight here. And only the one tube. Nope, never mind. That all the tubes are down. And Grimwood has to be extremely careful here, because that was what Iceman was waiting for. Iceman will lead the set by 2 points to 1 in the grand final. And Grimwood has it all to do if they wish to dethrone Iceman from the Challenge Cup. Sparring ring is going to be the call from Grimwood, and Iceman, realizing that this is probably not gonna go well for Ribbon, for Min Min, is going to switch to Ribbon Girl. And you see Grimwood just immediately hesitate, knowing that that's what's coming out. Coil is the call from Grimwood. It will be Ribbon Girl versus Coil. Grimwood has to win this match to keep the set and the tournament alive. Iceman coming in with the hottest of slaps and that nade. Grimwood, meanwhile, coming in with a Hydra and a Roaster. And you know a Ribbon Girl hates the Hydras as it is. So if that arm gets a second Hydra, it's going to be absolute chaos for Ribbon Girl to deal with. And so far Grimwood is already choking Iceman down, getting them past the halfway mark. hits in with a rush, but Iceman crucially managed to get the stop on it. It's going to get another retaliation as a result of those Hydras. Grimwood putting in a lot of pressure and not allowing Iceman not to really even, not to hit, not just to land a hit, but to not charge that rush at all. They still don't have it ready, and Grimwood's almost got another one in the bag. Iceman might just be playing from the back foot. Rush is going to come out from Grimwood again, but it's to no prevail, and I think Grimwood is fine just flinging out the rush where possible because they know they've got the confidence to just charge it straight back up. Iceman is just a hit away from going down, but they're trying to turn this back on its head, trying to wrestle control away from Coil, and they may just do it. 300 damage, they're looking for one more poke to turn this completely on its head. Coil is just blocking out another slap. They don't have the health lead anymore. The Hydra missed again. So did the Roaster. That Roaster would have KO'd if it hit, but it whiffed. And Ribbon is going to actually take the point away, and it's championship point for Iceman. And Grimwood says, screw it, we're going all Hydras. And is going to start with a big time grab. Grimwood not happy with how that match went in the slightest. And says, alright, fine, you're getting 9 bolts. Oh, 9 vertical bolts for your fiery pleasure. Slaps and nades is still the way to go for Iceman, but they're making it work. Every single slap is coming through absolutely fine. Look at this juggle now. 360 Ribbon lands on her feet, so no straight up, no knockdown this time around, but the Hydras are still running through them and catches Iceman again. Iceman finds themselves into critical, but they're not going to worry because they've been here before. They've got rush available and another Hydra hit. Grimwood needs one more poke and finally finds it. Ribbon jumps straight into it at the peak of the jump and keeps this set alive, but it's still tournament point for Iceman as Grimwood now plays the read, switches out the Hydras and comes in with nade, but they are going to fall foul to a 310 rush from the combination of this Tri-Blast and nade. I think Grimwood realized that Iceman was probably going to bring in a nade to this, but it's not working out for them at the moment. And Iceman, if this is going to be your time for a perfect, my word, what a time to get it. Nope, never mind. Grimwood into critical condition, but they've got a fight back and a half to do now. One more poke will do it, and there it is. Iceman will take the win. 3 points to 1, and that will be that. Iceman retains the ARMS Challenge Cup. My word. What a tournament. What a run from everyone involved. Iceman retains the Challenge Cup yet again after some fierce competition from everyone involved. Arkham took a point away from them in winners final. Grimwood took a point away from them in the grand final, but that did not faze Iceman. I say that, they were some very nervy sets because they both fought to the wire in all of their matches. But Iceman had the right reads, they took their time, they played patiently where needed, and fought their way through to prove why they are the champion. Commiserations, but also congratulations to Grimwood for coming in a fight in second place, and the same too for Arkham. Both Grimwood and Arkham took out Riffer in this tournament, both in a 2-1 set. It has been an amazing competition. We've had so many people involved, and I can't wait to see where we go from here in 2 weeks' time. It will be brilliant. Now, before we go, I will say this. Tomorrow night, there will be another ARMS EU tournament. The Scrapstar series is doing its rounds. And we would love to have you because you still gain PR points. You gain PR points here, and you gain them on the Scrapstar series. So if you liked what you've seen here, and you would like to take part tomorrow night, please do so. We would greatly appreciate it. And my voice is probably going to be gone at the end of 3 days because I've done commentary for Splatoon yesterday, the Challenge Cup today, and Scrapstar tomorrow night. Got a fun few days ahead of me, haven't I? But yeah, for that is done. We are done here. Thank you all so much for joining. Hopefully you've had a fun time. It has been an absolute blast. I have been Tamashi Kanjo, and this girl is now signing off for the day. Take care of yourselves. Keep an eye on social media where possible. If you want to get into this game, we'd love to have you, and join our Discord. You get the general idea. We've got our Twitter, YouTube, and Discord links all down there in the corner. And until next time, stay fresh.